Hey guys, it's Severe Weather Week on CBS 3. I'm meteorologist Chelsea Ingram.
And I'm meteorologist Lauren Casey, and we're here to talk to you about severe weather and in particular, severe weather safety.
Probably one of the most important things when it comes to severe weather, because you can know all you want to know about it, but if you can't be safe,
I agree.
what good is it? Safety is so important when it comes to this
And
topic.
knowledge is power, and we're about to give you that power right now.
All right, so we're going to give people a little bit of time to log on, but as we do that, we want to get started with graphic number 1, which has to do with the ingredients when it comes to severe weather. So I'll let you start with this, Lauren.
Absolutely. So we need kind of like a recipe, kind of like you're baking a pie or what have you to get severe weather. So you need a whole multitude of factors, but there are some primary factors that if you don't have these things, all the other sub factors don't really matter. And this is what you need to get severe weather going. You need plenty of warmth and moisture, and you need a lot of that warmth and moisture, higher dew points, high instability. Also, you need something to lift this warm, moist air up. So a lifting mechanism could be a cold front. It could be daytime heating where you get the sun beating down and you get those air parcels that start to lift up. And another element would be wind shear, or something that we call a low level jet. Now, a low level jet is faster winds, but lower in the atmosphere, closer to the surface. And sometimes those thunderstorms can rise up. They can tap into that low level jet, that high wind energy. Then you get the downdraft to a thunderstorm and it pulls down all of those strong winds and you can get a damaging wind event.
All right, so we want to give a shout out right now to Anne, who is watching. She said we scared her. She thought there was bad weather coming.
Okay, no, it's false alarm.
False alarm. We're just here to kind of educate you. So when bad weather does arrive, you know what's going on. Lisa says hello. I don't know if I'm saying this name right. Minerva.
Sounds good.
Better
to me.
than snow. I'd agree.
Yeah.
I think I'd agree because we had such a long winter.
We did have a long winter, but you know, we go from winter over transitioning into severe weather season, and they all take safety measures. We all need protocols for each thing. So now we're going to focus now as we move out of snow, talking about storms. Always got to deal with something with the weather.
That's right. Especially, you know, it's springtime. This is when we start to see those severe storms. So let's chat a little bit about severe storm criteria. This is the criteria you need for a severe thunderstorm. Hail at least an inch in diameter, and then wind gusts 58 miles per hour or greater, or a tornado. So all of these things can constitute a severe thunderstorm, something very important to keep in mind. So you won't see a severe thunderstorm warning unless you have at least one of those things. So there's a big difference, though, between a watch and a warning.
Absolutely.
A huge difference. And since you, Lauren, made this beautiful graphic.
Oh, why, thank you, Chelsea. I did not tell her to say that, I swear.
She works really hard. She did. She's a great graphic artist.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yes, it's important to know the difference between a watch and a warning. And I know it can be kind of confusing. So to break it on down, when the National Weather Service, now they're the ones that issue watches and warnings. We as broadcast meteorologists disseminate those warnings, but we don't decide to issue them. So when the National Weather Service issues a watch, be it a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch, the duration of that is going to be several hours. So this is kind of all bigger in nature. It's going to include portions of state as far as the coverage area. It's going to come out several hours before the event even really starts to get going. So when you have a watch issued for your area, that means you need to stay aware, stay tuned to the evolving weather situation. Of course, we all have our smartphones, so stay in touch with your trusted weather source. Keep an eye to the sky and have a backup plan for your plans that day if severe weather is expected. If you have a warning, that's when you need to start taking action. You need to move from awareness to motion. So a warning means the duration is about 20 minutes to potentially up to an hour, but probably a little bit less than that in most cases. Coverage area is going to be portions of counties, so a much smaller coverage area. Minutes long advance notice, because a warning means the event is happening. We have a severe thunderstorm, or we have a tornado, or at least a Doppler radar indicated tornado. And as I was saying, the response is to take safety measures immediately.
Very good information there. So let's go right into this.
I love this.
All right, this is really going to give you a great idea of the difference between a watch and a warning. Here's a cupcake watch. We don't have a cupcake yet.
We don't have cupcakes
There's
yet.
no cupcake there.
The ingredients are there.
We have the eggs, we have wet cream, we have some sugar, some flour, some butter.
There could be a cupcake. We're watching out for a cupcake.
We don't have it yet, though.
We don't have it yet, though.
So this is basically what a watch is. We have all of the ingredients necessary but we don't have the warning yet. This is a cupcake warning.
Cupcake warning. Cupcake has formed, it is built, and it is coming at you. And that is when you need to take those appropriate measures. So it's kind of something simplistic, even a little bit amusing to talk about a serious subject, but really it gives you, it lets your mind wrap around, we have the ingredients, that means watch. When we get that recipe or everything put together and then we have the formation of the severe weather, that's when you get the warning.
Very good stuff. Let's talk about trusted weather sources. Now, this is a topic that I think is so important, Lauren, especially nowadays with social media, and you have people that maybe are retweeting something that maybe is old or outdated, maybe a tornado warning that was issued a couple days ago. Someone sees it come up in their feed and then they retweet it. It's just really important to know who to trust, know what type of sources to look at, and also make sure that you are not retweeting something that's outdated. Just, know what you're looking at. So here's some trusted weather sources. CBS 3 newscasts, of course.
Obviously.
Of course. The CBS mobile weather app, which you can download that totally free in the iTunes Store or Google Play.
We like free.
Yeah, AM, FM radio stations, KYW News Radio, shout out to them. We're always sending our updates out on there, and we're doing live stuff on there so many times during the day as well. NOAA weather radios, so that is a nationwide network of radio stations, and then also EAS alerts. Those are free alerts to your smartphone for tornado and flash flood warnings. But it's just so important nowadays to just beware of outdated graphics on social media. Make sure you double check the time and date, and make sure you're getting your information from a verified source. And these are all sources that are verified that you can check and get your information from.
That's a really great points, Chelsea, and especially in today's day and age when we're all on Facebook, Twitter, all these social media platforms, to make sure you're really checking your source, checking the timing of this information that's coming out so you can better protect yourself.
So give a shout out to your social media pages.
Oh, mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
You can follow me at LaurenCBS3 on Twitter or meteorologist Lauren Casey on Facebook. How about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm at Chelsea Weather on Twitter and Instagram.
Holla.
Now, Instagram's more personal stuff for me. Like, I don't put as much like severe weather stuff
There you
on
go.
there.
A
But
peek
if you
into the
want to
life.
know what I'm eating for dinner, then you can check my Instagram.
I do.
If you want to know about severe weather, check me out on Twitter at Chelsea Weather, and then also Facebook at meteorologist Chelsea Ingram.
Okay.
Yeah, good stuff.
We got a question
What do we got?
from Christopher. He says,
Let's
how
see.
long does it take for a severe thunderstorm to form? How long does it last?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, usually sometimes lasts for like 30 minutes or so.
It really is dependent upon the situation. A severe thunderstorm forms, we just talked about kind of like the ingredients. So
yeah.
maybe we didn't see that. Maybe it came in before we talked about that. You need to have warm, moist air. You need to have a lifting mechanism. And also you need to have some wind shear in place. So those are some ingredients.
Formation-wise, I guess you could say that it could take a whole afternoon because you get that sunshine heating the surface of the earth, and there's just a whole thermodynamic process that takes place to eventually strengthen a thunderstorm and make it become severe.
Absolutely.
So-
And then in some cases we get a cap on the atmosphere. We don't see it all too often here, but in places like Tornado Alley in the Central Plains, you'll get a cap on the atmosphere, which is warm mid-level air, and you get the heating of the day, but the air can't rise because it's hitting this cap. But eventually that heating of the day can erode this cap on the atmosphere, and these thunderstorms pop up. They get above that warm mid-level air,
Yep.
and then they get to colder upper air, and then that air is just able to rise up
Boom.
so
Yep.
quickly, and you get
Yep.
these explosive type tornadic thunderstorms again. Not all too common to the Delaware Valley, but it is something that does occur.
All right, let's talk about Storm Prediction Center, SPC, severe risk category. So this is something we use a lot in our newscasts, and I'm really glad that we have the platform right now to kind of talk about this because we do use it so often. And a lot of times this can be, a little confusing, I think, for the general public. So sometimes we will refer to whatever weather situation we're in as a marginal risk, a slight risk, an enhanced risk, a moderate risk, or a high-risk situation. So this is usually something that's put up before a severe weather event unfolds. So this is kind of to give you an idea, hey, there's a marginal risk of severe weather, which means we could see some isolated severe thunderstorms. But if there's a slight risk, that's a bit of a higher category. So scattered severe thunderstorms possible, and then it goes up from there.
Absolutely, yeah. And these are done by the Storm Prediction Center, so it's an arm of the National Weather Service. Again, you're going to see these categories across the board, across platforms, because as broadcast meteorologists and meteorologists out there, we're disseminating this information based on the National Weather Service because they are designating this criteria that we are following. So it's important to know these things because you're going to see them across many platforms, and it really gives you a good idea of what type of weather and how intense the weather is going to be that day, also the coverage area.
So Wayne is asking, are you safe sitting in a car during lightning strikes?
Oh,
I think a car is actually a really safe place to be during lightning, not during a severe thunderstorm, tornado, anything like that, but it can actually act as that Faraday cage and kind of protect you from the conduction of electricity.
okay.
Yeah, so some interesting stuff there. Paul says he thinks straight line winds are more dangerous than anything. I was caught driving in one and thought the world was ending. They can be super scary.
They're very scary.
and they
yeah.
can do just as much damage as a tornado can.
Absolutely. They can do, straight line winds can get up to wind speeds of over 100 miles per hour. So that would be just akin to a low end tornado. So a lot of times, yeah. And I think people maybe because you can visualize a tornado, it's like, oh, it seems so scary and you can't really visualize straight line wind damage. So it doesn't, maybe you don't take as much safety measure, but you really need to because it can be just as damaging.
Just as dangerous. Let's chat about lightning. You did a little bit on this yesterday, so I'm going to let you take this, but some really interesting facts that you pulled together.
Yes, lightning, it's hot. You may have already known that, but in fact, it is at 50,000 degrees, it is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Yeah, I think that's hot. It's also fast. Lightning travels at 200 million miles per hour, and also lightning can vaporize a water. So that water that's in a tree, sometimes that's why you see trees kind of explode when they're hit by lightning. That's because that lightning's hitting the tree, it's vaporizing all that internal water, and the pressure builds up and boop, tree explodes.
All right, now this one, okay. Everybody always asks about this.
Heat
It's
lightning.
heat lightning. Is that heat lightning? Is heat lightning a real thing? Well, guess what? It's not different from any other type of lightning that's out there. It's just far off in the distance. So flashes seen from far off thunderstorms, usually visible on warm, humid summer evenings, but it is no different than any other type of lightning. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
old
So, I mean, pretty much there really isn't such a thing as heat lightning.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just standard lightning.
Yep. All right, here we go. We need your interaction with this.
Okay.
So true or false, rubber tires provide protection by insulating you from the ground.
When it comes to lightning, what do people think?
Come on, people. We need you to participate.
We did get a question online that says,
Ooh.
does temperature of an area have an impact on a thunderstorm? That's a pretty good question. Well, obviously, we can get thunderstorms to happen in the wintertime. We get thunder snow, and those are essentially thunderstorms inside a
snowstorm?
A snowstorm, basically, yeah. And that's a lot of times because there's so much lift and so much energy and so much power, we can get those embedded thunderstorms within a snowstorm. But, you know, typically I would say probably the warmer the air, I think it has to maybe do more with daytime heating. If you can get that daytime heating going, which would essentially relate to temperature, it can potentially make for a more unstable environment. And that's what thunderstorms like. They like an unstable environment. That's what they thrive on.
All right, so everybody's saying for this question, Lauren, true, true, true. I have true from Christopher. I have true from Maureen. True from Wayne.
Okay. Well, you guys are wrong. But thank you for playing. It's actually false.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's go to this question here. You should shelter under a tree during a thunderstorm. True or false? All right, here's your next chance to get it right.
I know the answer.
Me
Can I
too.
play?
I know.
Okay. Are we disqualified?
I think
we
are.
probably are. All right.
Yeah, we kind of made these graphics.
Yeah, we kind of
so.
like know the answers already, but that's okay.
Okay, okay, here we go. Maureen saying true, Christopher saying true.
Okay.
All right, well,
All
let's
see.
reveal. Let's reveal.
False.
Yeah.
Tree is not a good spot. And the safety position, actually, it seems kind of counterintuitive. It's like, oh, I'm under a tree, like I'm the lightning can't see me. Like, that kind of makes sense to me, but it's actually, you shouldn't do that because you should really find like an open space and you crouch down into a catcher's position, like a baseball catcher's position.
I think you need to demonstrate.
I'm definitely not going to demonstrate here like this. And then you're supposed to kind of cover your head, protect your ears, protect your neck and your head. So yeah, no trees.
No trees. No trees. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go.
Okay.
True or false, lightning never strikes the same place twice.
Okay. I know a lot of people ask about that. That is a curious thing.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's a phrase?
False.
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 People are saying false?
False.
Yay!
We got some smart people.
Yeah, we do.
We got some smart people. Okay, let's fast forward a little bit. We're going to talk about flooding.
I liked that that little song you did there. That was
Flooding.
good. I liked it.
All right.
Makes flooding seem so much more lovely, doesn't it?
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about flash flood safety.
Okay.
You got to get to higher ground.
Got to get to higher ground.
Don't drive into water. It only takes 6 inches of water to walk a pedestrian off their feet.
6 inches is not very much.
It's
What is
really
it, like
not much at all.
this
Half a foot.
much?
It's nothing.
Yeah. Just recently, we had that flash flooding event just a couple of weeks ago. And it was out covering in Cherry Hill on Route 38. There were cars underwater. I mean, at the very worst, you're threatening, the health of yourself and the occupants of your vehicle. And
you're also threatening first responders.
You're also threatening first responders. That's really, really bad. But also bad on the scale is by car. Car stalls out, you get that water in your engine, and it makes for like a bad day. So that's why we say turn around, don't drown.
So we're talking safety today, and one really important thing when it comes with flooding, make a plan, know what's going on, know where you're located before flooding happens. Are you located in a floodplain? What's the fastest way to get to higher ground? What roads nearby are more likely to flood? These are all really important things that you can know ahead of time, and that can help you if you do have to deal with a flooding situation. And this is what I was mentioning earlier. Driving into floodwaters, it also puts first responders' lives at risk. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not all about us, you know? It's about the people who help us as well.
I mean, it's all about me. No, I'm just kidding.
It is all about her a lot of the time, you guys. It is.
Fair enough.
But so we talked 6 inches of water can knock a pedestrian off their feet, but 12 inches can basically take a fast-moving car and carry it away.
I mean, that's just so crazy. You think about a car just weighs, I don't know what it weighs, a lot. And then you think about 12 inches of water. That's it. 12 inches of water is all it can take to float or stall out your vehicle. And of course, if your vehicle stalls out, you're going to lose control. So this is not a good situation for anybody. And of course, if you're driving up to a flooded roadway, there's no way for you to tell how deep that water is.
And the road could be washed out underneath.
Absolutely.
You just have no idea. You have no way of knowing.
A police officer, too, when I was out at that Cherry Hill flash flooding event, also mentioned something to me which I never thought about, which is kind of creepy, but I'll bring it up. You don't know if there's a manhole also that's been loosened up and,
Ooh, that's a good point.
No one really probably wants to get sucked into a manhole.
Yeah,
I don't think that I would want that to happen.
I don't want to go out that way.
No,
I think
that doesn't sound very fun. So that's something you also have to consider.
So this is the saying, right?
Yep.
Turn around.
Don't drown.
Turn around.
Don't drown.
This is what you can teach your kids.
It's pretty clever.
It is. It's easy to remember, and when all else fails, remember, turn around, don't drown.
Yeah, it's inconvenient to find a different way, but it definitely is going to be the right choice.
And another thing, when thunder roars,
go indoors. We have so many sayings.
when thunder roars,
go indoors.
when thunder roars. Go indoors. Okay.
We can make these ringtones for you, and you can have them. Me and Chelsea will record them, and you can download them. So look for that later coming up.
Send us a tweet about that. So I did a little research on Philadelphia tornadoes, and then also just tornadoes across the Delaware Valley. Found some really interesting information out. Now, the last tornado that we've seen in Philadelphia was actually back in 2011.
Okay,
so that's a while back.
That's a while back.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
I don't like the odds on that, Chelsea.
I know. So we're kind of due for one. I mean, who knows? We'll have to see with this upcoming severe season, but January 1999, a tornado, 1998, but you can see it's been several years since we have last seen a tornado in Philadelphia. Now, this is a look at all the counties across the Delaware Valley up into the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos, the number of tornadoes that each county has seen in the modern era of tornadoes.
Yeah.
And so these are confirmed tornadoes. What I find really interesting, Lauren, is that when you look at Newcastle, Kent County, Chester County, Berks County, Lancaster County, those are all of the highest ones right there.
Yeah, so there's like a localized maximum right there, which is really interesting to see this mapped out, and also to see these counties that are closer to Philadelphia and Philadelphia County in that list you just showed, Chelsea. I know a lot of times people think like you can't get tornadoes in urban centers. You definitely can.
You totally can.
Yeah, so that's something we need to keep in mind as well.
So let's go over probably something very important here. Tornado warning, what you need to do.
Okay.
And if you know anything about severe weather, you need to know this.
Absolutely, yeah.
Seek shelter immediately. The best place to go, an interior room or a basement. Stay away from windows, and of course stay alert with us because we will be on air, we will be online, we will be doing everything to keep you guys notified on what's going on weather-wise.
If you guys have tornado sirens in your town, something also to think about is, a tornado siren isn't necessarily a tornado siren, it's an outdoor warning siren. So the first thing you need to do if you hear that, immediately respond to that, go indoors and find more information on why that siren is going off. But it's something that we definitely shouldn't rely on because I know not all municipalities have outdoor warning sirens.
So Christopher is asking, are people safe lying flat on the ground during lightning strikes? As we mentioned before, the best thing to do is crouch down like a catcher. And some people even say to kind of put your heels together just so the lightning could travel through one foot and out the other if it does affect you in any kind of way.
Right, yeah. Getting low to the ground, I think, is the key point there, and just kind of trying to protect your head.
Yep, that is most important. Wayne says we're having fun.
Oh, good!
He loves the laughter. Joe says, hey, girls. Hey, Joe. How you doing? Did you learn something? All right, Chris says, okay, we got that one.
Yep,
Oh, this has been fun.
Yes.
All
Oh,
right.
something also too with the tornado warning preparation.
Yeah.
Something also to think about if you are going to seek safe shelter, there is a tornado warning for your county or the portion of your county. Put shoes on because in case,
You have
to deal
Yeah.
with debris, which of course we don't want you to, but these are real life situations that do happen. So you want to have your feet protected if you have to exit your home or a damaged home and you want to have your shoes on. Also something to think about is to put a helmet on. I know it sounds kind of silly, but especially for kids.
That's a really good point. Yeah,
So-
protect your head. I mean, it's just so important because something could fall and hit your head.
That's how most injuries and
Yeah.
unfortunately fatalities happen in a damaging wind or a tornado event is debris making contact with someone's head. So especially for kids, if you are seeking shelter, there's a tornado warning, you want to grab their not soccer. You don't have
What are you talking about?
Clearly I don't know sports.
Paul says, we have a new puppy at home. How is your Chi-Chi during storms?
Oh my gosh, thank you for addressing my Chi-Chi, my favorite
Aw,
topic other than
Chi-Chi.
weather. Well, he has a new puppy. Congratulations on the new puppy. Chi-Chi does not care. Chi-Chi
Really?
sleeps through storms. She could care less. I have two dogs, Chi-Chi and Edgar. Edgar hates it.
But Chi-Chi's okay.
Chi-Chi's okay, but
Yeah.
Edgar, he hears it before, I
Yeah,
even know, and he
yeah.
starts shaking. Poor guy.
Doppler shakes too.
Oh, yeah?
Doppler gets super scared. Thunder, fireworks,
Yeah.
anything that's loud like that. He
Doppler's
gets
Chelsea's
scared.
dog. Great
Yes.
dog name.
It's my dog.
Yep.
Doppler the dog. He's a Yorkie poo. He's like 8 pounds and he's 4.5 years old.
Adorbs.
He's super cute. He's
Our
super cute.
babies. Yeah. Some of them, though, they just can't handle the storms.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
guys have any more questions for us?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot.
Someone asked who has the cupcakes.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a really, we need to.
We're going to investigate that afterwards. But we really appreciate everyone joining us and
We
taking
do.
time out of your day. I know it's probably maybe in the middle of your work day, but
Yeah, it's
really
all good.
information and knowledge is the best thing you can have to best protect yourself and protect your family, especially as we move forward into the spring and the summer months when we see the most severe weather here in the Delaware Valley. If you're prepared and you have a plan and you're aware, is there, a risk of severe storms today? Are we in a slight risk of severe weather? weather?
Yep.
Is there a watch? And keep yourself up to date on these type of things. And you know, a lot of times we can see that there could be a severe weather threat days in advance.
We can, yeah.
And then as we get closer to the event, we're able to hone in better on the timing, what to expect. So even stay alert days out.
Yeah, just so you know how to plan your week. You know, oh, I've got a soccer game coming up this weekend. There could be severe weather. That way you have a plan in place just in case, you know,
Absolutely.
that ends up happening.
Yep, great tip.
So cool. We hope you learned something today.
I hope so.
Yeah, killed it. Killed it.
But of course, tweet us, Facebook us anytime
Yeah.
if you have any questions
Yeah.
on weather safety or any and all things weather or dog related.
And we will try to follow up on some of your questions that you're posting. If you continue to watch us later on, you know, when it's not actually live, we'll
Yep.
try to follow up on questions.
Yeah, and then coming up at 5 today, I'm going to do a quiz with our wonderful anchors.
Yes,
Yuki
they don't
and
know this
Jessica.
yet. They don't even know.
They don't even know. They're going to decide which hail size objects are real and fake on the hail size chart determined by the National Weather Service.
Interesting.
Yep,
Interesting. They have no idea it's coming.
they really don't.
And are you talking about the largest hailstone ever recorded?
I am. So that's also coming up. And I
Yeah.
have a prop.
Any
It's gonna-
guesses?
Oh, yeah.
Any guesses?
That's a good
on
one.
the largest hailstone.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was walking around with the prop, and people were like, "Whoa, what's going on here?"
Yes, I had to go around and ask
Today.
everyone, do you have a
Prop that I need for this?
Yes, and I did acquire it, but
All
yeah,
right.
well,
Cool.
great, everyone. Thanks so much. We really appreciate you joining us. Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome. And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.